there's this moment. Not a big one. Not fireworks or declarations or grand gestures. Just a quiet breath between heartbeats. When you realize that someone who once held a piece of your soul no longer needs to carry it anymore. I remember you. Not just in my memories, but in the way my soul softened when you showed up again. That version of you. The one who smiled through the screen, who reached out with warmth and mischief, who reminded me that the bond between us wasn't just in my head. He felt like home. And I don't mean the kind of home that's fixed in place, with walls and routines and certainty. I mean the kind of home that lives in your chest, the feeling that wherever you are, even across time zones and silence, there was a part of me that knew exactly where I belonged. That's why when you came back, not necessarily into my life, but into my space, my thoughts, my DMs, I didn't panic. I didn't run. I just felt it. Like muscle memory. Like breathing. Because loving you never required permission or explanation. Just was. And maybe that's what made it so dangerous. Because love without boundaries can feel like freedom until it starts to choke you. But I'm not here to blame anyone. Not even myself. I'm here to say thank you. Thank you for showing up imperfectly, inconsistently, beautifully. Thank you for being real enough to let me see all of you, not just the polished parts. Thank you for laughing with me at midnight over memes we'll both forget. For the late-night voice notes that made me cry, not because they were sad, but because they were honest. For the times you said, "I miss you," and meant it. You existed. And what we felt, it was real. It wasn't some fantasy I built in my head. It wasn't wishful thinking or projection. It was messy and magical and full of moments that still live inside me like little flickers of light. And I know sometimes people look back on relationships and romanticize them, but I'm not doing that. I'm honoring them. There's a difference. Romanticizing is pretending something was more than it was. Honoring is recognizing its truth, even when it hurt. And this truth. We tried. Even if it was messy. Even if it wasn't enough to sustain us. You were reaching. And I was there, open, hopeful, honest. I gave you everything I had in those moments. Not because I wanted anything in return, but because I believed in the beauty of connection. In the idea that two people could meet each other in the middle, even if the middle kept shifting. I forgive the ways you stumbled. I release the timelines we didn't align in. Because my love for you is not meant to trap us in the past. It's meant to free me, to remind me what it feels like when someone sees me, misses me, wants me. And now I understand. That feeling isn't dependent on someone else. It lives inside me. It always did. So I choose to hold on to that version of you. Not to cling, not to chase, not to rewrite endings, but to recalibrate my heart toward the love I deserve. The kind of love that doesn't make you question your worth. The kind that shows up without games or silence or confusion. The kind that walks beside you without making you feel small. Whether you return or not, that love, that feeling is mine to keep. And I've learned something important in letting you go. Closure isn't something someone gives you. Something you give yourself. You taught me that. Not intentionally. Not with words. But through your absence. Through your presence. Through every moment we shared and every silence we left behind. You reminded me of what's possible. Of how deeply I can feel. Of how much I have to give. Of how worthy I am of being loved well. And now, I'm walking forward with that knowledge stitched into my skin like armor. I'm letting you go with grace. And I'm loving myself enough to stay. Not just in this world but in my own life. In my own truth. In my own joy. Thank you for being part of my story. Even if you weren't meant to stay, you helped shape the woman I'm becoming. And I hope wherever you are, you're finding peace too. Because healing isn't just about fixing what's broken. It's about learning to hold space for what once was, while stepping fully into what's next. So yeah, I remember you. And I let you go. With love. Me.